Hey, what's up, Dean? Super Performance. Back at the shop. JR Jr., not sure. 34 Ford. I got all the wiring done. Got the fan relay in. I started cleaning some stuff up. I got to take that ground wire off. I put it on, not remembering that the FiTech triggers the ground, so I just haven't taken it off the bolt back there. I got the 2 relays for the fuel pump and the AC condenser wired up. I gotta just clean up, like tape the wires going across a little bit, clean those up. I taped up some of this. This is the fan wire going down, and then it zip ties down there and comes back up, connects here, just to keep it away from the alternator. Then I started taping that across, and I said, you know what, before I go crazy doing all this, let me make sure the FiTech works. So, plugged the handheld back in, fed it through the firewall, connected my ancient 900-year-old computer that will not install the drivers to be able to connect through the handheld. So I can't do that. But whatever, you know, I didn't need to do that. Here's the first thing that's really stupid about a FiTech is key is in the off position. You hear everything come on, key is off. Handheld is unplugged. So if you plug the handheld in, it turns on. It never shuts off. It gets full-time battery power to the handheld, and that is stupid. Like, it makes no sense, but it should start. Yeah, fire's right up now, which is good. It never did that before, but it's already at 30 psi right now. And if you throttle it, it drops to 0. So I know the fuel pressure is bad. Then, okay, you know, no big deal. Change out that pump, no big deal, right? Take off the air cleaner, and you notice 3 wet holes that are spraying. Nothing. Spraying. Nothing. Spraying. Spraying. Nothing. So it at least has a bad injector or a bad wire to the injector. Yet again, another kind of long-running issue with a bunch of the FiTech units was injectors, wiring inside, internal wiring stuff. Oh, that's cool. So at the very least, you know, it needs to be taken apart. But at this point, I just, what's the point? Like, honestly, what's the point? Let me shut that off. You can hear the fan is running. I had it running for a while, so everything works. Again, what's the point? So I fixed the fuel pressure. Like, that needs to be done regardless, so I'm gonna do that. But honestly, like, I just told him, I said, just do a sniper. Because you could do a carburetor, but then you got to do a fuel pump, right? So there's the mechanical pump block. Might as well see if you can put a mechanical pump. I don't know about this bracket, if it'll fit a mechanical pump or if the pump aims down. I don't know how Ford pumps are. So if you got to do an inline electric pump, no big deal. You can swap it out. That's kind of my thought. But you got to change the fuel filters because they're for fuel injection, not for carbureted. Then you'll have to change some of the lines just to make them long enough. You have to get rid of the return line because carburetor doesn't use a return line. And I won't do a pressure regulator that can have high input and output low pressure. Like, that's not right to me, and I could be wrong on that. It's just my personal preference. But that's just how I see it. Throw a sniper in it, just be done. I also found that yellow wire on the frame was the fuel pump circuit with the fuse. So here it is going out of the body. So I cut it from the back so that it's just a dead line now, which maybe I shouldn't have cut it from the back, but I was gonna use it. Yeah, I was gonna use that circuit to power the FiTech, but you can't because that shuts off when you go key on. So I had to use a different circuit underneath, which I just put in right here with the coil power. I actually popped the terminal out, cut the coil wire, recrimped a new terminal that both wires go in. So that's all done. And then I used another one for the fan relay. I fed it all the way over to the circuit box and popped it in. So really the only wiring I have left is for the auxiliary port over there, which should come off of cigarette lighter. And I got to find that wire somewhere over here, find that circuit. So yeah, that's kind of where we're at with this. Like, just over it personally. Not the car, but just the issues that it's just continuous issues, one right after the other. And they lead down to the FiTech not working. Like, it's got a dead injector. Like, what do? You know, could take it all apart. It's easy enough to take apart, other than you got to take this throttle shaft off this side, I believe. Yeah, to get it off of the injector. And then it's just 2 Allen screws that hold the bowl. So it's not hard to take off. I don't know if those injectors are even replaceable. I'd imagine they're like a Pico style. But just looking at the plug, I don't know that there's like a replacement style for that. So again, you know, what are we doing? Like, fix one for the rest of them to go bad? Maybe it's clogged, who knows? I don't see one injector being clogged. And the others spray pretty good. So, whatever. But that's about it for now. I will put the pump in Monday, as long as he wants to do a sniper. He said he was thinking that anyways. So I'm just going to verify with him that he wants to install the sniper. Then Monday when I come in, basically I could tear the FiTech off, drop the tank. I'll put the in-pump tank. I can get that all put back together. And then when the sniper shows up, I could just bolt it on and go. Pretty much everything's already done for it. It's already got a coolant sensor, which if that is the original FiTech coolant sensor, it's probably wrong. If you go way back, every one of these units shipped with a bad coolant sensor, and it's just a GM 3/8 MPT style coolant sensor. Every one of these units read off. I don't remember if it was like 25 degrees lower than what the temperature actually was. I don't remember, which is not good, because if you think about it, if you set your fan for 195 and that sensor is showing 175, you know, it's got to get the motor up to 215, 220 degrees before it even kicks the fan on. So, which, you know, these motors don't like to run that hot. You know, these are like 195, 200 is good for the old school style motors. LS's run 210, but that's totally different. So I will have to verify that sensor. And I think the easiest way to do it was come in like fresh in the morning, turn the key on, read the coolant sensor, you know, the temperature of the coolant sensor, and then like, what's your ambient temperature? You could do it with a thermal gun too, you know. So yeah, that's where we're at. But anyways, didn't mean to turn around. Cobra's back. Same issues. If you go back in the video, on the video, I started the car. It had been run all day. Like I was starting and running it all day. Shut it off and it was perfect. Now it diesels like crazy again. So I'm not sure if there's something. I feel like there's something going on with the carburetor, because when I was doing the idle mixture screws, it really wasn't changing anything. So I feel like maybe something is going on in the carburetor. Maybe the car was, I don't know if he bought this car new, had it built, or if somebody else bought the car and maybe they just never drove the car, or drove it not that much, and then he got it and the carburetor has some crap in it. I really don't know. But there's just something going on, because you could change all 4 circuits and it doesn't really change the way the car idles. And last time I had a wideband in it and it was rich and I could not lean it out at idle, which shouldn't be an issue. But that, you know, I don't know if there's something going on with the carburetor. I don't know. So we got to look at that. And then he brought the other door handle for me to weld up. And yeah, and then he says like first, second gear kind of feel a little weird. But that might be the way the car drives. But he said it feels a little weird, kind of hesitant, sort of. So we're going to take a look at that and go from there. But that is it. It's Saturday. I'm going home. Maybe eat some candy, because it was Halloween yesterday and we always buy a ton of candy, so we got a ton of candy left over. But yeah, I appreciate you watching. Like, subscribe, hit the bell to be notified, leave me a comment, and as always, have a good day.